Hi guys, this is the 2-month ownership review of my 2021 Hightower. So today's video I'll cover a few different things. I'll cover things like what I love about the bike, my suspension setup, thoughts around the geometry and sizing of the bike, and wheel size. So to start with, I've ridden about 200 kilometers of trails all around Sydney. So I primarily use it for aggressive trail riding, bit of XC, bit of enduro, a little bit of downhill. Woohoo! So some of the issues I've had with the bike, I've had the first free service done, so there's nothing major. The only issues were that the chain wouldn't get onto the top gear here, so that needed some adjustment. The stem just needed retightening, and the SRAM code brakes required bleeding, so that was all quite easily fixed. So when I first got the bike, somebody commented and asked whether it was actually an e-bike. Someone just asked me whether this is an e-bike. He's like, nice bike. Is that one of those e-bikes? I was like, nah mate. And it's kind of not hard to see why it might be mistaken as an e-bike. Just for that, look at this really thick down tube. Like that's quite chunky, it's quite thick, and when you look at the shock tunnel, it almost looks like it could house a motor in it, but obviously when you come over from this angle it's you know, hollow and there's nothing in there. But the thickness of the frame definitely translates into this sort of stiff ride that in my experience I've known Santa Cruz bikes to have this unique feel about it that no other bikes really have. So I'm riding the bike with a low chip setting, so the low flick switch here. I haven't really had any reason to flick it into the high setting. I do get a few like pedal strikes on rocks and stuff, but you know, I don't think it's anything to warrant having to try the high setting at this stage. So I'll show you some clips of some of the gnarlier stuff that I've ridden, some sketchy moments. Still a few sketchy moments there. That first section sketched me out. This is sketch, bro. That was sketch. Every trial is called sketchies to me. And I'll show you some clips of where I think the bike has really shined for me. So what I love about the bike, I've found it quite confidence inspiring how the suspension and brakes work around techie sort of sections. I've been quite surprised how much control I've had on the bike, even though I've sort of felt a bit apprehensive, you know, approaching some features. The bike has kind of really shone in some certain situations. So here we're at Bucky's, and this is one of those corners where the tyres, brakes and suspension just work so well together to get me around this corner. I was elated. Woo! As you could hear there, it got me around really super smoothly. Okay, so here's another trail where I think the Santa Cruz really shines for, you know, my ability or my lack of ability. I feel this section is really comfortable. The Santa Cruz, the Hightower I think is designed to eat this sort of stuff up. It's sort of flowy, kind of chunky, bit techy. It's got a bit of everything. There's nothing too gnarly, but it's such a super fun trail to ride. And the Santa Cruz, it just sounds so solid. Just like, you know, all you can hear is the terrain underneath the tires. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And, you know, the i9 Hydra hub, it's a little bit noisy. But yeah, this is a section that I really enjoy. So it doesn't have to be the gnarliest sort of stuff to enjoy the bike. This sort of stuff is just super fun.
Okay, so here we are dropping to a trail called Flux Capacitor in St Ives, Sydney. This is the first time I've actually hit this trail on this bike. This is the first one I ever did. Yeah, I've learned pretty quickly that as capable as the bike is, it's not a miracle worker. This was this is a pretty gnarly trail. I've never actually been 100% comfortable on it. But yeah, sure, I definitely had a few sketchy moments on the descent of this. So, you know, the bike's very capable, but you still got to pick your lines and ride smart, because, you know, the bike might save you on a few occasions, but you kind of, you know, you need to know what you're doing, and otherwise you could get yourself into trouble, obviously. So that's the lesson I learned from this first warm up, is that yeah, the bike's not a miracle worker. So here we're about to drop into a track called Rockies. It's also very, very close to the Flux Capacitor in St Ives. It comprises of quite a few rock rolls and some sort of rutted out, sort of steep sections. So far so good through here. I did the rock rolls okay, but yeah, there was a bit of a sketchy line that I took when I was going over this particular jump. Sort of landed in a bit of a rutted sort of bit, and yeah, I thought I was going to lose it, but I don't know whether it was me, luck, or the bike that managed to just save me, but I managed to kind of just hold on and ride my way out through it. So, because I've definitely had a lot of sketchy moments on the bike, it's definitely saved me on plenty of occasions, I guess, but I have had a couple of stacks on the bike in the couple of months as well. I guess, you know, you can't avoid that, and with the amount of riding I do, you know, it's unfortunately bound to happen every now and then. But yeah, I think the bike has certainly saved me when I've run out of talent on a couple of occasions. Now, I'm going to quickly revisit Flux again. This time you can see me recorded from my mate CK's point of view. He's on a Santa Cruz HTLT 2018 model. If this bike has saved me on multiple occasions, it has to be on this downhill trail. It's pretty sketchy for my standards. I've never felt 100% comfortable on it. I make a lot of mistakes on the way down, and there's probably 1 in 2 times that I hit the trail that the bike has saved me on a particular feature. The bike has just held up on its own, and I think has really proven itself in this sort of gnarly terrain.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
The wheel size, I've really got used to the wheel size. I'm running 21 psi on the front and 26 psi on the rears. In the first video I posed a question whether I would go back to 650Bs after riding the 29-inch, and the answer is I don't think I will. The 29-inch wheels kind of does 90% of things better than the 650B for me. Like, I'm not a huge jumper, so you know, this thing can jump, but you know, I'm not really focused on that. I'm focused more on the technical sort of descents and stuff like that. So yeah, the bigger wheel size, I enjoy the extra speed and momentum it carries, and just smooths out the trail that little bit more.
Now I've told you that I don't do jumps, but here is some footage from the second day out owning the Santa Cruz Hightower and hitting jumps at Kentland. Now I'm pretty impressed by how poppy it is and how playful it is. Let's have a listen into some of my thoughts from the day.
This bike's so playful though, like surprising. I just chuck it in the air, just like the smaller wheel bike. So plenty of pop.
Doesn't feel too bulky?
No, surprisingly quite nimble through there. Not that I'm very stylish, but it feels like it's got potential.
In terms of the suspension, I've gone with the manufacturer's recommendations and it seems to work quite well for me. So I'm 74 kilograms, so I've gone for 160 psi in the back, running about 30% sag and 6 clicks from close on the rebound. For the forks, I've also gone with the manufacturer settings and it seems to work well with me. So we've got the Fox 36 Performance 150mm. I am 74 kilograms, so I'm running a pressure about 80 psi and rebound 9 clicks from close.
There's been a lot of talk about suspension. Everyone's going on about the Meg Neg. Oh, you need the Meg Neg. You blow through the trouble so quickly with the stock suspension. Honestly, for what I ride, I don't feel like I've needed anything more. People talking about putting 160mm forks on, even 170mm forks on. No, I don't think you need it. Maybe I don't know what I'm missing out on, but at this stage I definitely feel like I don't really need those suspension upgrades.
Woohoo!
Okay, let's talk about sizing of the bike. Initially I was a little bit worried that the bike was it was a little bit too small for me because the cockpit felt a bit cramped. So I'm 174 centimeters tall, so I'm sort of in between sizes on the Santa Cruz chart. Basically, the medium is recommended for 165 to 175 centimeter tall riders. And the large starts from 175 to 185. So I think basically people kind of maybe feel a bit cramped on the cockpit, but I think this, given for modern day bikes with the modern geometry, the seat posts, the seat tube angle has become steeper and the head angle slacker. So naturally it sort of will have a tendency to push the cockpit to a bit of a tighter position. The reach is probably the best measurement actually for what you'd want to measure for when you're riding your bike, because you're in that aggressive position standing on the bike. The reach is probably a better measurement of sizing. So when I stand up on the bike, it does feel like the right size for me, so I'm pretty happy with the medium. Interestingly, I was just going through some numbers on the Geometry Geeks website, and there's some interesting notes compared with the 2018 Hightower LT. The reach is actually 30mm longer on the Santa Cruz Hightower, on the medium size, and in fact the reach on the Santa Cruz Hightower 2021 is also 10mm longer than the reach of the large 2018 Hightower LT. So you're actually riding a bigger bike. So the old large is basically the same reach or similar reach to what a medium is now. I wouldn't really recommend sizing up beyond what Santa Cruz have recommended on their website. So surely the longer reach or the longer wheelbase will give you a bit more stability, but you'll probably suffer a little bit in the agility department. So yeah, I reckon it's best to, I'm pretty happy with the medium that I chose at the end of the day. So on the sizing topic, it's also interesting to note that EWS champion Richie Rude is riding a medium frame at 6'2", and Jack Moyer, he is usually riding a extra large frame, but has decided to also downsize to a large for the EWS. So there you go. So the 2022 Hightower, the colours have been announced, and I hear there's going to be no geometry changes as well for the new Hightower 2022 model. So yeah, I'm not sure whether there's going to be any differences apart from the colour, because the 2020 Hightower, the only difference was actually just 5mm less travel in the rear, so it only had 140mm travel, but they've given 145 for the 2021 V2, and as far as I know, there's just colour changes for the 2022 model, so you can get it in a melon colour or a graphite colour. So there you go, they're my thoughts on the 2021 Hightower V2 at the 2-month ownership mark. Thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this sort of video. I may do a 6-month video, maybe a 1-year mark video, just to see how the bike's going and whether anything's fallen apart and what's fallen apart first, etc. But at the moment there's no major issues with the bike. You can please also check out my other adventures. I'll post, a video maybe once a week, once a fortnight, just on some general trail riding. So yeah, you can see the Hightower in action, and me having a blast and doing more sketchy stuff and trying to improve my skills and grow with the bike. Cheers, guys.